Last night, something happened that millions of football fans have been waiting 20 years to see. 20 years of near misses, of heartbreak, of almost. And then, in the 45th minute, a boy who joined this club at the age of 8 scored the goal that changed everything. Arsenal are going to a Champions League final. But to truly understand why this moment matters, you need to go back, way back. Because this is not just a football story. This is a story about identity, loyalty, and what it means to wait. Paris, May 17, 2006. Arsenal were in the Champions League final for the first and only time in the club's history. They faced Barcelona, the greatest club team of that era, a team with Ronaldinho, Eto'o, and a young Lionel Messi on the bench. For 73 minutes, Arsenal, reduced to 10 men after keeper Jens Lehmann was sent off, led 1-0. They were 17 minutes from the greatest upset in European football history. Then Barcelona scored twice in the final 15 minutes, and just like that, it was over. When Mikel Arteta was appointed as Arsenal manager in December 2019, the club was in chaos. They were 8th in the Premier League. Their squad had no identity. Fans were walking out of games, and there was no clear vision for the future. Arteta did something unusual. He did not just rebuild the team, he rebuilt the culture. He brought in a new core of players, young, hungry, technically gifted. Declan Rice, Gabriel Martinelli, Ben White, Martin Odegaard, and most importantly, he kept faith with the boy from Ealing, West London, Bukayo Saka. This season, Arsenal entered the Champions League with a point to prove. They moved through the group stage with a kind of quiet confidence that made Europe start to take notice. Not flashy, not lucky, just relentless. Then came the semi-final, Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone's team, one of the most defensively organized sides in world football, a team built specifically to frustrate, to absorb, and to counter. The first leg ended 1-1 in Madrid. Victor Gyökeres scoring for Arsenal, Julian Alvarez equalizing with a penalty that silenced the away end. Everything came down to the Emirates. Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. The atmosphere was described by those who were there as the loudest they had ever experienced at the Emirates. A generation of fans who had never seen their club in a European final, and they could feel it. One game away. Arteta set up his team with precision. Gyökeres led the line. Rice controlled the midfield. Miles Lewis-Skelly, 19 years old, not even born when Arsenal last played a European final, started in midfield. And then, on the stroke of half-time, it happened. Leandro Trossard's shot was parried by Oblak. Saka, always alive, always present, was the first to react. He buried it into the roof of the net. The Emirates exploded. Arsenal held on. 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate, and 20 years of waiting came to an end. But this is not just a football story. This is about a club that refused to stop believing, a manager who rebuilt something from rubble, a local boy who grew up inside these walls and is now carrying this team on his back. Saka said after the game, "It is a beautiful story, and I hope it ends well in Budapest." Budapest, May 30th. The Champions League final. Arsenal will face either Bayern Munich or Paris Saint-Germain, two of the most powerful clubs in the world. And Arsenal, the team many wrote off a decade ago, will be standing there on the biggest stage in European football. Win it, and Arteta becomes a legend. Saka becomes an all-time Arsenal great, and a 20-year wait becomes a story told forever. But even if they do not win, this season has already changed what Arsenal means. A club chasing the Premier League title and a Champions League final, both at the same time. This is the greatest Arsenal season in 20 years, maybe more. Now, for those of you who follow anime, you already know what kind of story this is. This is a shonen arc, a young hero raised inside the system he now fights for, doubted by the outside world, carrying the weight of expectation on his shoulders, and then, at the exact right moment, he delivers. Saka is Naruto finally becoming Hokage. He is Hinata spiking the ball in that final match. He is the underdog protagonist who everyone watching at home saw coming, except the people who were supposed to stop him. The greatest stories in sport and the greatest stories in anime are built from the same blueprint: sacrifice, growth, belief. One defining moment that makes every painful chapter before it worth reading. This was Arsenal's defining moment, and Bukayo Saka was the one who wrote it. If you want us to cover the Champions League final build-up, the tactics, the history, what is at stake for every player, subscribe right now. We post every week, and drop your answer in the comments. Do you think Arsenal can win the final? And who do you want them to face, Bayern or PSG? I will see you in the next one.